Howdy, this is Retro Bear back once again with the second week of PlayStation month, which is well and truly in full swing, courtesy of an idea by my good friend Eddie over at Rollercore. I hope you're all taking part and posting your results to YouTube or indeed social media. Anyway, welcome back. This week we're concentrating on PlayStation 2. If you haven't seen the PlayStation 1 week, go back and have a look. All the videos on my channel, slightly different way of doing this because mainly because of time constraints and just trying to condense the videos into one thing, because last one was like very much the preview and then the actual sort of thing going on, so I don't really want to do that. Before we start, let's address the game in the room, which is one I haven't played, which is Extermination, which is I think survival horror type Resident Evil game, what I'm led to believe. Comes with the manual. You can see the manual, courtesy of a phrase by one of my very good friends, has been attacked by game at some point. And there is, but it's not incredibly expensive to pick up, it's quite cheap, I believe. So you should have it at some point in your collection, like I have. Nice little sort of reflective cover on that as well. Really, really nice. Really nice to pick up that one. I think it was like 50p or a quid or something like that. Not a difficult game to track down, so if you do fancy that sort of thing, keep your eye on that, because that might pique your interest, as they say. Right, so PlayStation 2 week. So we did PlayStation 1, which was a lot of fun. A PlayStation 2, I decided to do a slightly different twist to it because, well, it's a family affair, isn't it? You know, the old PlayStation family console, you know, 1 through 5, PSP, Vita, Go, etc. So I thought it would be a fantastically great idea to ask Mrs. Bear to pick some games for me to play. Yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? And I said, full reign of whatever you want, because there's about 650 games to choose from, so it's not exactly a small selection. So anyway, she went on with that, and sort of said, here you go, gave me the games, and I was like, me £2 off my swedge or so enough. Probably convenient because, anyway, just put that back on. Yeah, so anyway, she came up with the idea, and these are the games that she picked out for me. So I played them. I did stick to what she gave me. I did question one of the titles, but then when I played it, I realised it wasn't what I thought it was. I wanted 5 different games, and she's picked me 5 different games. She did pick me an extra one in case one of those wasn't good enough. So I picked those games. I winced at a few of them, I've got to be honest with you, but that's how it is. And to be honest, having played them, they're a bit of a mixed bag. There's probably, I would say, a couple of really good games in there, a couple of really average ones, and there's one which is just complete head scratcher. But you'd expect something like that in my vast collection of rubbish. Anyway, so she picked the games for me at random, completely random, and no influence me whatsoever. She gave me the games. I played the games. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the games she's picked. Then we're going to run the footage, so you'll see the game introduction and some gameplay footage, just some quick, not so much as last, you know, a soupçon, I suppose to say, a taster of what it's about, and a little bit of commentary about how I found the game. And then we'll come back here and I'll give you a verdict. That's how the last video worked over 2 videos. We'll do it in one this time. So it might be a little bit longer, but you'll get what I mean. Right, so the 5 games she picked, and I can't remember, but I don't think any of these have cost me any more than £1. I wouldn't have paid much more for £1 for most of them, I've got to be honest with you. So, first one up she picked was Hur Blood of Braves, which is not even loosely based on the film. It is loosely based, but it's not quite what it should be. But again, that's a 50p, £1 game. I think maybe I think it's minus £2 at the moment. I think something like that. But it's not a difficult one to pick up, and none of these are groundbreaking ice gems or anything like that. So Hur was the first one. Now the second one, you can see why we have to get involved and do this. Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. Yeah, you can see what I'm getting at. Yeah. Hello Kitty's Roller Rescue, which is again complete with a manual. I'd like to show you the inside just so you know what we're dealing with. And there's the back of it, so you'll see some footage of that shortly. Yeah, I'm not sure if I got the Xbox version, because there is an Xbox version. I'm pretty sure I may have it. You'd probably be surprised to understand that I hadn't had it. Maybe, I don't know. Third game, but it had to be done. Anybody who's been watching my channel long enough will know that it's not just other individuals who play games of this ilk or buy games of this ilk. People like me do. Now, what am I associated for in this game? Cheap games, fishing games, and horse games. So we got Pippa Funnel Take the Reins, which is do you know what, I played that and I thought that there's another video here, possibly a long running series which nobody will ever watch, but maybe to do so. It won't surprise you to understand this is absolutely immaculate on the inside. I honestly felt that manual hadn't even been folded or even opened. It's that clean and crisp. It really is. So we've got Pippa Funnel Takes the Reins. Yeah, so all the classics here. All the classics here. We've then got Sonny Garcia Surfing. Okay, bit of surfing action, which I don't know. Never been a surfer, never been particularly interested in it, but I do like my sport, so a bit of surfing action there. There we go. And the final game, which I noticed my copy's got an Australian marking on the front of it, so I was a bit concerned about this one. This was the one I had a bit of a concern about, because I felt this might be a bit similar to possibly where Ben Hur was coming from. I don't know. And the fifth game is The Mark of Cree, which, as you can see, has got the G rating down there, which is the Australian grading. And then that one. There we go. Manual and disc. Everything nice and complete as it should be, as you'd want. There we go. So those are the 5 games that Mrs. Bear picked. Shall we see how I got on? Let run footage. Aye, we'll have a look at now and see what we got on, and I'll come back afterwards and I'll tell you what I thought of them. Alright, let's roll the VT gene. So you join us playing Ben Hur. You see the old chariot racing, the most famous part of the most famous film, one of the most famous films ever. And yes, you'll notice it is a chariot racing game. I was more expecting the old sword and sandals type epic that you would associate with a game like this, or a license like this anyway. And what we're getting is, you know, horse racing with carts, sort of a Mario Kart for the loincloth generation. And this is what really lets the game down, because it's not particularly interesting. All it is a series of chariot races. There are various things you can do. You'll notice that there's been a few, there you can see in front there, of magic spells being cast, which are basically the equivalent of green and red shells, I suppose, nowadays. You can, if you get close to other chariots, you can attack the other chariot riders with whatever weapons you're carrying. There is a bit of strategy involved. You do, in the bottom right hand corner, have your horseometer there, and that indicates how tired your horses are getting, how much pain they're taking, because you can, as you can see there, whipping the horses will encourage them to go quicker, but there's only so many times you can do that. In fact, I did find out to my cost later on that if you whip them too much, they'll actually, well, just basically have enough and just stop and the game's over, because you don't kill the horses, they just don't want to run anymore. So this is it. Control wise, it's a bit sloppy, as you can see. It's not the easiest thing in the world to control, and I'm still desperately trying to work out how to keep the thing, because by not whipping the horses there, they've come to a complete standstill. But you have to keep whipping the horses, otherwise they won't run. But if you whip them too much, they'll stop running and they'll eventually refuse to work, in which case then it's like, I just, you know what, I don't know. It's a nice little concept, but unfortunately I'm afraid to say that it's not a great gaming experience, and some of these tracks are exceptionally long, and they seem to go on forever, and apart from the odd twist and turn here and there's not a lot on this one. Now, I did play one of the other tracks that was incredibly difficult. They set it in the desert with a setting sun practically in your face, So it was like driving a car in the sort of winter time, when the sun drops down about sort of 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's that really dangerous level which is right in your eyes. Twilight, I think they call it, isn't it? That's right. So yeah, there are probably some challenging levels later on, but as you can see, it's not the greatest thing to control. I mean, I managed to get stuck here, and the horses appear to be refusing to do anything. No matter time to whip them. Come on, move out the way. But yeah, it's just it's about an average game as you can play. You might get a little bit of enjoyment out of it. You might play a few tracks. There are different modes. There is a time attack mode. There is a battle mode. There's a multiplayer mode, and there is a story mode as well. But it's all based around chariot racing. There's no variation beyond that, I'm afraid. So, those of you looking for some sort of representation of the classic film and that era, I think you'll be sorely disappointed in Ben-Hur. Right, next up, Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. Yes, the sort of game that pops into a collection if we're going for a full set, or somehow ends up in your collection because for some reason you picked it up a very, very long time ago. What can I say about this particular game? Well, I mean, it's very nicely done, very nicely coloured, very colourful. I know absolutely nothing about Hello Kitty. I was more of a Miffy man when I was younger. Miffy was a rabbit, just out of interest. If those younger have a clue what I'm talking about, go and look it up. That's what the internet is for. And yet, this is obviously aimed at a certain game, market, game generation to play. It's not designed for people of my age to be playing. And it's a basic combat game, but what I love about it, open world combat game, what I love about it is the fact that it's the character of Hello Kitty is defending her village from invading blocks from outer space with the aid of a penguin who keeps getting in the way. And it's just honestly, it is incredibly good fun. I mean, if you are a hardened game player who spent years and years grinding through games, getting every single achievement, don't play this, because it'll take you 10-15 minutes before you get bored, move on to something else. If you're somebody like me who doesn't really care about that and decides to give every single game a decent opportunity, it's worth it. If it wasn't for the fact that some of the camera is a bit rubbishy at the best of times, and it's quite simple and basic, but beyond that, it did make me laugh, and I did quite enjoy playing it. I shouldn't really. In fact, I find something really, I find something really hard to say something bad about this game. I mean, it's not good. I mean, and don't get me wrong, it is surprisingly playable. Moves are limited. You can jump. You can use a standard attack, and there's a jumping attack method. There's coins to pick up. You can replenish your health by picking up apples from falling from a tree. You can pick up stars there by destroying enemies. There are dustbins and boxes available. If you destroy those, you can pick up coins there as well. The coins can be used to buy cake. If you like cake, this is a game for you. Which we'll probably just see in a minute. We'll let this footage run a little bit longer. We might see where the cake is. There's a save game mode, so you go and save your progress. You even have a closet where you can go and buy outfits. Yes, because it's a Hello Kitty game. I believe that's the sort of thing that happens. I'm guessing. I don't know. Some of you with young daughters may already have experienced this many times. But yeah, it's struggling to find anything bad to say about it, other than the fact it's not going to win any design awards, put it that way. But if you've got young game players in your family, this is probably an ideal game to get them on the way and get them into gaming. And I think that's probably the best compliment we can play it. They've actually taken the license here and made it reasonably interesting. And like I said, this whole space invasion thing really does make me laugh. So yeah, I think it's probably worth picking out. There is an Xbox version as well. I can't remember if I've got that or not. Probably not. I think just a PlayStation 2 version, thank goodness. But yeah, why not dig it out? Hello Kitty's Roller Rescue. I can give that a good recommendation. So we're on to Pippa Funnels, Take the Reins. Get used to seeing that yellow screen where the disc was loading, because you will see that a lot in this game. My goodness me, I thought the days of multi-loads disappeared with tape games, but goodness me, after everything you do, there you go, the flipping disc icon comes on. So what is this about? Well, I've absolutely no idea. This is there's an adventure. I think I'm playing the adventure mode here, where there's a storyline behind it. You have to rescue a horse from a burning barn, start the game with, which is really more problematic than it should be. After this ridiculously stupid cinematic opening, oh my god, it beggars to be seen belief. This makes me wonder why. Makes me think I'll perhaps just do a game on this, a real sort of long game review on this at some point. I don't know. And yes, so you're involved in some sort of horsing school, and you have to look after a horse and train it and develop it, and this is it. So I've actually got an English thoroughbred horse here. I know that because I saw the start of the game, and you have to pick a horse from about 15 different sorts of breeds. I had no idea there were that many breeds of horses, but apparently there are loads. And yeah, this is it. So what I'm playing here is where you brush the horse both sides, give it a good clean, then you take it outside and hose it down. Then you clean its hooves out, then you clear its stable out of all the poo, and there's hay with poo in it to clear out, and then you sort of move on to the next day and you do something completely different, and so on, rinse and repeat as we're doing here, until you either get enthralled and can't get enough of it, or you get seriously bored, like I did. Yeah, and that's it. That's it. I mean, good grief! Just get that horse really good clean under there. Yeah, it's just one of those games. Into if you are enthused by horses, like I'm pretty sure the target age for this would be, then this is an absolutely ideal game. Let's face it, there are plenty of horse games out there, but for somebody who's got absolutely no interest in horses and knows a suspiciously large number of games about horses, yeah, I'm not going to be playing this an awful lot. Having said that, and I will say this, I do honestly think that there is a bit of fun to be had with this. So this might not be the last time you see this game on this channel. Now, I'm not saying that's a promise. It might be a threat. Yeah, it might be a threat. I threaten to do maybe a series of videos about this god-awful game. Yeah, so horse washing with Pippa Funnel. Yeah, I'll let you make your own minds up. Right, so this is Sonny Garcia surfing, and I am afraid I've had to mute the sound on this one because there is a licensed soundtrack playing in the background, and as I've already had a sort of warning shot across the bows of a previous video, I don't want to get too much in trouble. Where they play a select screen, you've got a number of different surfers who have different stances away, or basically ways of standing, which is really weird. Natural stance and goofy stances. Well, I've always liked goofy people, so I think we'll have one of those. Corey Lopez, he's got a goofy name as well, so that's fine. And yeah, so you got a character selecting, then you get a number of places you can go surfing, and then to set a type of board that you use for surfing with. Again, not quite sure where that comes from. Does it make any difference in a game? Probably not. And this is it. It's all about surfing. You start fast asleep on your board, floating aimlessly at sea, and then all of a sudden a wave comes across, and then the idea is you're meant to catch the wave. So I wasn't quite sure what I was meant to be doing there. You use the left analog stick to paddle, which I'm showing you now, and then once the wave gets close enough, you then press the X button, and once you're up, that's it, you're up, and then you're away. And a fade takeoff, and a floater, which you always seem to find in the ocean, plenty of them, and that happens an awful lot as well, and that's about as far as I got. I think perhaps more time with the manual might have been beneficial, but honestly I could get about this far. I could do a few quick turns like that, and then I just end up falling off. If you fall too far behind the wave, you fall off. If you get too far in front of it, you fall off. If you get involved in the roll of the wave, I think get inside it before it crashes, you end up falling off as well. So apart from falling off a lot, I couldn't really see what I was meant to be doing. I didn't seem to get many more points for falling off. So if you have played this game, or you are, have a interest in this game, or you are a surfer, it'd be nice to know what I was meant to be doing, because I don't seem to be affecting much else other than a watery death to a watery grave. Not a particularly cheap, sorry, not particularly expensive game to pick up. If surfing's your thing, then pick it up. But do let me know, what was I doing wrong, apart from being really bad at games playing. And if Sonny Garcia is watching, it'd be nice to know what he thought of this, because that's a new finish there, a new way of plummeting to the earth, the bed of the ocean, where I shall remain. But yeah, Sonny Garcia surfing. That's death by water. And so we come to the final game of this PlayStation Month episode. This is The Mark of Cree, and it's an open world hack and slash adventure game, very much in the 3D styling I found of some classic N64 games from years ago. And I must admit, I do love that style of game, and although this has got a violent element to it, it really is quite brilliant. There's some wonderful cutscenes which we haven't got shown here. You'd have seen from the introduction how beautiful some of the drawings and things associated with this game are. It really is quite a wonderful little package. You also have a little bird with you as well, which is your sort of guardian angel, which guides you through, which you can control. The bird can fly off into the distance, land on one of those perches there which are being highlighted, and can survey the scene where you're walking into, so you know what you're walking into as such. And then to demonstrate it here for you, there we go. So bird lands on perch, other perch distance, bird should fly off and look at perch, there we go. So the bird will go and fly off over there, and we'll have a good look around the next section. You can actually control the bird and just see what's going on there and see where you've got to go to and what may be lurking in the distance. It's all very exciting and beautifully put together. Control wise, it's fine. The camera's pretty good on it. It's just really enjoyably good fun, and whoever's put their time into this really have created a game here which I must be honest with you, I'd never heard of before. I may have been missing out on this all these years. It's been sat on my shelf, which is one of the joys of doing something like this. Well worth tracking down. I don't think it's a particularly expensive game to find as well, like all these games have been really. But if this, you're looking at this game, is this the sort of thing you want to play? I would do so. The little fire thing you see there is actually your line of focus. You're targeting the people around you. You can switch your focus immediately, especially if you've got you see a little backslash there as well. If you've got a number of people attacking you, you can switch your focus each time using the right analog stick and attack them using the left analog stick and the control buttons. It's really quite interesting and very well done, and I love it. I couldn't say enough good things about this game. It's well worth it, and I think it is one that I will go back and put some time into. Even the barrel I just run back there, if you get too close to that barrel when you're sword fighting, your sword will get stuck in the barrel. And isn't that attention to detail fantastic? Absolutely brilliant. The Mark of Cree, highly recommended, and undoubtedly the standout game of this part of PlayStation Month on the PlayStation 2. Right, so there you go. That's all the game footage. I am sure you will agree. A real mixed bag there. I've changed the game in the back, which you may have noticed was all white out a minute ago, which is why I went all black like I'm gone again there. Look, there you go. So, dear me. Should have turned the brightness down on this anyway. Now we'll go with this, shall we? We'll go with this. This is Gumball 3000. There we go, with Tits McGee on the front. So do like me PlayStation races. Oh, that's interesting. I appear to have misplaced the disc. What have I done with the disc? It's in the machine. Oh, dear me. There we go. It's good proof that idiots shouldn't have YouTube channels. It's also proof that any idiot can run a YouTube channel. Yeah. Where's the disc? Oh, it's in the background. Moron. Anyway. I was too concerned with the joke at the start anyway. So it's another cheap game, but I do like racing games, and I don't care how cheap they are. there's lots of gratuitous shots in this one as well, so we'll keep that there for a bit, shall we? Anyway, right, let's get to what we've done in terms of gameplay. So first up, you would have seen Ben-Hur. Okay, now I was disappointed to find out this is literally just chariot racing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there are a couple of games that I've got. I've got a game called Circus Maximus, which is also very much the same sort of thing, and it's a gladiator game as well, which I think is just called, it's not called Gladiator, is it? It's Gladiator Roman something. I'm desperately trying to spot it in the corner of the room, but I can't see it. I can't see it from here. I don't know, it's something like that anyway. I thought it'd be a bit more like that. It's purely based around the chariot racing aspect of Ben-Hur, which is all well and good, but it's pretty average. It doesn't control great. Just disappointed with it. You know, I was expecting a little bit more from it, and it's just chariot racing. Yes, you can attack the other chariot riders and perform magic and stuff on them, but as a racing game, it really doesn't work. It's a bit of a shame, really. 64 spells, heal, magic, attack and skill upgrades, 17 mythical circuits, different modes of gameplay, time attack, deathmatch multiplayer. I mean, you know, there's options there, but it's just not particularly interesting. I'd probably give that maybe a 5 out of 10. I think I said in my last video, it's a good 5 or a bad 5. It's probably a mid 5, that one, out of 10. If you see it cheap enough and you desperately are intrigued by it, go and get it, but otherwise I think I would leave that one on the shelf. Anyway, next up, Hello Kitty. Now, yeah, I mean, this is it's difficult not to actually like this, because it's quite simple to play, it's quite basic, which appeals to my nature. It's also very bright, very colourful, and the fact is that you know I associate this character with, you know, sort of very it's very girl orientated. So the last thing you expect this game to be is to be something to do with Hello Kitty trying to defend the place where she lives from all these space invaders, which is really quite bizarre. It's simple to pick up, it's basic. I mean, you know, if you're a good gamer, you're not going to get a huge amount of play out of this. The only issue I got with it was the right analog control stick works in the opposite direction. I couldn't find a way to change it. So if you try and rotate the camera to the right with the right thumbstick, it actually moves the camera to the left, and vice versa, and it was really tricky to get my head around. But yeah, it's not a bad little game. I've played an awful lot worse, and given the fact it's a licensed game, it's not that bad. You know, I'm going to give you, you know, it's a fair 7, that. I mean, if you've got younger game players, it's an ideal game to get them into something like that. Really is worthwhile picking up. Probably even put it to an 8 for that. But I don't know, I think I'll give it a 7. My opinion counts for nothing, so it makes a difference. Right, Pippa Fun will take the reins. Bleeding hell. Oh man, you know, I did a video 2 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago now, based on a Wii game called America's Top Model, which I really wanted to do a long series of, and it was just, it reminded me of that there's so little gameplay involved, and they've tacked this ridiculous storyline on it as well. You start this game up, and it's almost as if you're entering some sort of Harry Potter universe. Why am I saying that? Is because it starts on a train journey to Scotland, and then you've got to rescue a horse from a burning barn, and that's a horse you end up looking after. But it's got all these ridiculous characters in there as well, and you think, you know what, I could do a really good video on this and really take the mick out of it. So I may do that at some point. That's, you know, that's the sort of series I could do which no one would watch. But I mean, yeah, if grooming horses is your thing, and looking after horses and training horses is your thing, then this is it. If you're after some sort of other experience, you're not going to get it with this, I'm sorry to say. Disappointed that you may be to find out that Pippa Fun will take the reins. It's taking the piss. I mean, for hilarity factor, yes, but it's so tedious. I can get a lot of fun out of this, but it is so tedious to play. It is dull to play. It's a 2 or 3 out of 10 job, this one. I'm sorry, but it is. I just couldn't get into it. I mean, maybe the storyline's quite good. There is a storyline attached to it as well. Maybe that could be the redeeming feature. But if it is, that's all there is to it. Yeah. Unfortunately, it does exactly what it says on the tin. Nothing. It doesn't come in the tin. It comes in the box. Sonny Garcia surfing. Well, as you would have seen, more time spent practicing probably would have resulted in something a bit better. I was getting the hang of it towards the end. If actually what you've seen was pretty much practice footage anyway, and then I did actually play a little bit more, and I did actually manage to stay on the board a little bit longer and do a few tricks and things. So if I put a bit more time into that, I might have actually enjoyed it a bit more. If you like surfing, it's probably your sort of thing. If you don't like surfing, you're not going to get a great deal out of it. Again, probably maybe a 5 out of 10 on that one, maybe a 6. But there's a reason why there aren't many surfing games. You know, even going back to playing California games years ago, I could never get on with the surfing. All the other little mini games I could play, the surfing one I could not do. No matter how many times I read the manual and whatever, I just simply couldn't do it. So I had the same experience with that. Maybe surfing games aren't for me. I don't know. Sorry, Sonny. No. And then probably the standout game, I think, without a question, is the Mark Cree. Absolutely fantastic. It's got that open world environment. Yes, there's this tedious training method system you have to go through to start with if you really want to get into it. And I was getting a bit bored with that, and I just thought, well, I know enough moves now, I'm going to go and play the game and get on with it, and that's what I did. So probably why I didn't get as far as I would like to have done, but I love the character design. I love the drawings and stuff in between the levels. It's absolutely amazing. It really, you can see they've gone for such a cartoony look as well. I'm really in favour of that, and I honestly believe you've also got the. Before I get to that, before I give my actual opinion on it, you've got this thing with the bird, the guardian angel as well. I honestly believe there's a cracking game in there, and easily an 8 to mid 8 out of 10. That I could thoroughly recommend that, and I could really see myself sitting down playing that. And I don't usually like those sort of games, but it reminded me of Donkey Kong on the N64. It reminded me of Banjo-Kazooie. It reminded me of Super Mario World 64. That environment, okay, there's a hack and slash element which is completely different. You don't find those games, but it just reminded me of those games which I enjoyed playing years ago. And I just absolutely love this. I could not recommend this highly enough. If you can find this, you will find it widely and cheaply. Pick it up. It's definitely worth your time picking it out. It really is. Yeah, really, really great. Even just for the art styling. Anybody appreciates art, animation, etc. It's worth doing. They really have given this an awful lot of thought. I don't know if it's based on a cartoon or a comic or whatever. If you do know and you have heard about it, do let me know. I'd really like to know about that. But utterly impressed with that. So those were the Mrs. Bear selection for PlayStation Month for PlayStation 2 Week, which were Ben Hur, Hello Kitty, Roller Rescue, Pippa Funnel Taking the Mick, Sonny Garcia Surfing, and of course the Mark of Cree, which I can thoroughly recommend to you at the end. Recommendation undoubtedly is that game, but give Hello Kitty a go. It is fun. It'll make you smile. You've had a crap day, you've had a really bad day, and you desperately need to cheering yourself up. That will give you a little bit of a smile. Don't play that because that'll just depress you. But I may do a few videos on that because I think there's actually a lot of fun to be had with that. Anyway, so that's it. That's PlayStation 2 month. You may be sitting there thinking, you've got 650 PlayStation 2 games. Is that the best you could come up with? You haven't seen PlayStation 3 week yet. I haven't chosen the games for that yet, so I will crack on and get on with that. That will come out this time next week. Maybe I might not play as many games because time, etc. And I don't want these videos to keep running. And then for PlayStation 4, I will be doing a couple of live streams with a couple of games that I want to play. They're probably likely to be going on over the bank holiday weekend at the end of April, beginning of May. I know it's a cheat because it's not actually in May, we're actually running into May for PlayStation Month. I don't really care. But I may do some live streaming for that as well. We'll do some live streaming for that. I've got a couple of games I want to play for that as well, which I'm holding back on. I haven't played yet, so that'll be an experience. I hope you've enjoyed that anyway. Hope your PlayStation Month is going well. Please don't forget to put your contributions up onto YouTube or social media so everybody can know. And if you don't know what PlayStation Month's all about, go across to Roller Core's channel, Roller X Core, and he got a video there explaining it all about it. It's his idea, it's his baby, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm actually playing some games, which is a fantastic experience. There we go. So we'll catch you again very soon, but it's the Retro Bear saying take care and bye for now.